Christmas is creeping up, and some of you are probably thinking about that one special gift. Not me though, money's tighter than a gnat's backside, with 4 leeches sucking every last penny out of me from now until the end of the year. But if you've somehow dodged the cost of living apocalypse, good for you. You're after something timeless, maybe with a dash of heritage and built to outlast your grandkids. You don't want the usual suspects, Christopher Ward, Tissot, Hamilton or Seiko, and you haven't completely lost the plot, so you're keeping it under £1,000. So here's my pick of genuinely interesting, top quality watches under £1,000. So let's kick things off with a watch from everyone's least favourite fashion watch brand, Fossil. But don't leave just yet, because we're not talking about some overpriced beta with a £2 quartz movement. This is about a brand so old it predates electricity in most houses. When you think of Zodiac, you might picture quirky colourways and vintage vibes, but behind all that personality lies serious heritage. Founded in 1882 in Switzerland, Zodiac built a reputation for innovation long before the modern hype. Fast forward to the 1950s and Zodiac introduced the Seawolf, arguably one of the first mass-market dive watches, arriving alongside the Blancpain 50 Fathoms and ahead of the Rolex Submariner. Over the decades, the Seawolf evolved, giving birth to the Super Seawolf line, which pushed limits in water resistance and robustness. Today's Super Seawolf compression diver is the same DNA after a few drinks and a gym membership. It's a 40mm stainless steel tank with a sapphire crystal, 200 metres of water resistance, and those signature colourways that look like they were designed by someone who got lost in a 1970s ski poster. Inside beats the STP 1-11 automatic. Zodiac's in-house-ish movement based on the ETA 2824-2, which basically means you're getting Swiss reliability without paying for a marketing department the size of Omega's, or even Tag Heuer's. And being based on the ETA, it'll be accurate, solid and inexpensive to service. The compression part isn't a CrossFit reference. It comes from the original case design, built for real diving, not just office humidity and latte foam. Sure, the term's a bit of marketing fluff these days, but given the history behind the name, I'll let it slide. So what makes it good? Character. While half the watch world is busy photocopying the Submariner, Zodiac went full retro beach party, complete with hyper-colour t-shirts and budgie smugglers. It's playful, but built like a proper tool watch. The kind that you can wear underwater or to an 80s fluorescent party, and it'll still outshine half the decor. And compared to other luxury divers, the Super Seawolf doesn't need to justify itself with celebrity endorsements or limited editions inspired by air. You're paying for heritage, engineering, and a colour scheme that could wake the dead, not an over-polished status symbol. So if you want a diver with history, quality and a pulse, without remortgaging your house, the Zodiac Super Seawolf Compression Diver is it. Currently on sale for just under £850, it's proof that heritage and good design occasionally forget to charge luxury prices. A legitimate icon. And if that's not enough heritage for you, how about the brand's inspiration for an infamous 1960s serial killer? The Zodiac Killer. True story, allegedly. Talk about brand loyalty. Henry Archer sounds more like someone who drives a milk float in EastEnders than a Danish watch brand. Why they didn't stick with Henrik Schodt, the actual founder's name, is anyone's guess. The Angloisation feels a touch cheap compared to the original Nordic tone, but like me, you'll probably forget about it and the brand's rather short history once you see one of their watches. The Havstrøm line, yes, that's Danish for current, is less about branding fluff and more about watches that actually look good and don't disintegrate after a week of real wear. They're sleek, modern and solid enough to handle life without pretending they've been to the Mariana Trench. And the Meteorite Atlas, this is where Henry Archer gets playful with the cosmos. The dial isn't printed, etched or pretending it's anything it's not. It's actual Manuelusum Meteorite. Yes, I completely butchered that. Sorry, not sorry. Each dial is unique, with its own interstellar patterning, subtle, textured, and with more depth than half the watch forums arguing about it. The cases are perfectly executed 40mm of brushed and polished stainless steel, topped off with a HV coating to keep it looking fresh long after the honeymoon phase. It's 10.45mm thick, water resistant to 200 metres and sandwiched between two sapphire crystals with 6 layers of AR coating. And with a healthy dose of Swiss Superluminova, it's as practical as it is pretty. Inside you'll find the Miyota 9019, a beautifully decorated movement beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour with a 42-hour power reserve. It's slim, dependable and refined enough to let the design take the spotlight, which is exactly how it should be. It feels like a watch built with a design-first ethos, which tracks given the founder actually comes from product design, not PowerPoint. Everything feels considered, deliberate and refreshingly free of that'll do thinking. It's coherent in a way that makes most microbrands look like they're still worshipping their first logo. So if you want a watch that can handle the everyday, turns heads quietly and make you feel like a cosmic explorer without the cosplay, the Henry Archer Halstrom Meteorite Atlas is that. Currently priced at £729, a genuinely out-of-this-world watch at a reassuringly down-to-earth price. A clean, confident design with actual personality and not a milk float in sight. Squale are so proud of their brand they made not one but 2 logos. Then they couldn't decide which they liked more, so they slapped both on the dial. Neither looks remotely like it belongs on a watch. You'd be forgiven for thinking they were the signage for a backstreet fishmonger flogging fillets of pollock for £1. But there's method and genuinely unbelievable history behind the madness. Back in the 50s, Squale was a case and component supplier for some serious names. Hoyer, Doxer, Zinn, even Blancpain's 50 Fathoms. Each watch proudly wore the little Squale shark on the dial as a stamp of quality. It's a tradition the brand still carries today, keeping a bit of dive watch history very much alive. The 1545 sits at the entry level of the range, but it's still pure Squale. A no-nonsense, all-brushed tool watch that isn't trying to be fancy. 40mm of stainless steel, sapphire crystal and 300 metres of water resistance. Nothing flashy, nothing decorative, just a watch built to do a job and do it properly. Powering it all is the Certina SW200-1, a reliable, precise and completely unobtrusive movement. Everything about this watch prioritises function over form, yet it still manages to look cohesive, purposeful and confident. Sure, the double logo dial still looks like a committee meeting gone wrong, but there's something charming about it. It's eccentric, a bit old-fashioned and somehow all the better for it. In a sea of brands trying to imitate Rolex or Omega, Squale leans into its quirks and outperforms expectations. While it might look like it was designed by a bloke who runs a seaside cockle shop, the Squale 1545 is still one of the most honest Swiss divers you can buy. Tough, reliable and refreshingly unpretentious. And the best part, the 1545 starts at just £750, which, for a proper Swiss dive watch with this kind of pedigree, is practically a steal. You get history, reliability and that unpretentious charm most micro brands can only dream of. Put it another way, you can either have this or 750 fillets of cheap fish. I know which one I prefer. Venice-based Venezianico are one of those rare microbrands that actually deserve the hype and are genuinely one of my favourites. They built their name on high-quality cases, immaculate finishing and a material lineup so diverse it could rival a Paris fashion show. All for the price that contains just 3 digits. But lately, their prices have gone sky-high faster than a cheap box of supermarket fireworks on bonfire night. Even so, beneath the inflation and ambition, there's still some genuinely stunning pieces lurking in the sub-£1,000 range. Proof that good design doesn't always have to come with a celebrity brand ambassador. The Arsenale range feels like Venezianico at its most self-assured. Bold architectural cases with confident proportions and dials that don't just look nice, they demand to be noticed. These aren't watches you wear quietly, they're watches that announce politely but firmly that you've got good taste and possibly a minor obsession with Italian design. Across the line, the dials come in a frankly ridiculous variety of finishes. Meteorite, platinum, aventurine, muso black and vertical Côte de Genève striping. Each one giving the case a completely different personality. The sort of cohesion you get when someone with actual taste is in charge, rather than a committee of brand strategists chasing Pantone trends. And then there's my pick of the bunch, the Arsenale Bronzo. A 40mm slab of marine grade bronze with an effective 44mm lug-to-lug. It's the perfect mix of presence and practicality. It's hefty enough to feel purposeful without veering into wrist anchor territory. That warm bronze case paired with that deep blue dial gives off Italian supercar vibes. Bold and shouty, but with undeniable desirability and class. It's powered by the Miyota 9039, chosen for its quality, beautiful decoration, and above all else, its thinness. Keeping the total thickness of the watch under 10mm. No nonsense, no drama, just smooth high beat running beneath a very well dressed exterior. With the Arsenale range starting below £700 and the Bronzo coming in under £740, it's still comfortably under four figures. Which feels almost suspicious for something that looks this well executed. It's proof that Italian design doesn't have to be overcomplicated or expensive to be impressive. Yes, Certina are a well-known Swiss watch company with almost 150 years of heritage, but they're not quite a household name, unless it's the residents of Mr. and Mrs. Certina and their three little Certinelets. But they've always existed in that odd middle ground, respected, reliable, but rarely the centre of attention. While Tissot's busy charming the masses with polished cases and dressy dials, Certina's the more rugged, outdoorsy sister. The one who shows up late to the family barbecue, covered in mud, but still looks annoyingly good in the photos. Both share the same Swatch Group DNA, but Certina trades champagne receptions for mountain trails and waterproof zips. So, the DS PH200M, Certina's love letter to its own 1967 diver. It's not so much a reissue as a modern retelling. Same attitude, better materials and fewer questionable moustaches and beach attire. At 43mm, it's on the larger side, but the proportions keep it from feeling clumsy. And yes, it's fully polished, which might make you question my earlier claim that Certina is the rugged sibling of Tissot. Apparently, rugged now comes with a mirror finish, so deal with it. It's surprisingly slim too, at just 12mm thick, meaning it'll slide just under a cuff without the usual diver bulge. The domed ceramic bezel and sapphire crystal add a touch of modern refinement, while the display case back lets you watch the Powermatic 80 tick away. Not flashy, but a neat reminder that the movement inside is just as well thought out as the design outside. And speaking of the Powermatic 80, Swatch Group's favourite party trick, an automatic movement with an 80-hour power reserve and a Nivacron balance spring to shrug off magnetism and daily abuse. In other words, it's accurate, reliable and won't start acting up because you set your phone on top of it. The DS system, double security if you want the marketing term, means the PH200M can take more of a beating than your average desk diver. It's rated for 200 metres of water resistance, which is about 190 metres more than most owners will ever need, unless your commute involves shipwrecks. It's not perfect. At nearly 43mm, it's not for the dainty wristed, and it's a bit more modern than vintage purists might prefer. But what you lose in proportions, you gain in durability, comfort, and the sense that Certina actually gives a damn about engineering. And then there's the price. On sale at £675, the DS PH200M feels like one of the last honest mainstream Swiss divers left. No gimmicks, no marketing fairy dust, just a watch that looks brilliant, works flawlessly, and reminds you that substance still exists in Swiss watchmaking. When two Dutchmen met, they discovered a shared interest and decided to combine their talents into a brand. They could have got into designer clogs, opened a tulip farm, or started the next big thing in cheese wheels. But thankfully, they chose the slightly more sensible option, and man was born. The Maen Manhattan UltraThin range is a masterclass in restraint. It's clean, cohesive, and effortlessly sharp. It's a modern reinterpretation of 1970s luxury sports watches, nodding to icons like the Vacheron Constantin 222, while somehow feeling like the designer may have had a dream about a silver Casio F91W the night before. Think New York sophistication, sleek, smug, and somehow still down to earth. The case is 39mm of stainless steel perfection, slim at a frankly ridiculous 6.9mm, tapering towards the lugs with a gentle concave curve that gives the watch a sculptured architectural vibe. The crystal is slightly domed, adding a subtle depth and distortion at the edges, while the integrated bracelet flows seamlessly into the case like it's always belonged there. No awkward visual breaks, no nonsense. Brush flanks meet polished bevels, catching the light in a way that actually makes you notice the shapes rather than just noticing the light bulb in the reflection. The dial is where man really flexes. A vertically brushed Côte de Genève pattern available in 5 different hues, including a deep blue that shifts from oceanic to midnight tones depending on the light. Dauphine-style hands glide over it, sharp, polished, and loomed just enough to be useful. The minimalist indices keep the symmetry intact, while the absence of a date window means nothing interrupts the hypnotic flow. The result? A dial that's quietly luxurious without needing to scream about it. Inside ticks the ETA 7001 handwound movement. Visible through the exhibition caseback, blued screws, striped bridges, and 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's simple, reliable, and utterly elegant. 2 hands, 1 ritual, wind it, watch it move, pretend you understand horology better than everyone else. The bracelet deserves its own applause. Integrated, 3-link, brushed and polished for maximum light play. Tapering from 22mm to 80mm with the hidden micro-adjustable clasp. It's substantial but not overbearing. Sculptured, yet fluid. Basically, it's what you want from a metal bracelet without the fuss. The Manhattan UltraThin is offered in 37mm and 39mm, so you can choose the size that suits your taste. One for elegance, the other for slightly more presence, both dripping with sophistication. And then there's the price. At just under £1,000, it's absurdly reasonable for what you get. A watch that feels like a bespoke creation, wears like it was measured for your wrist, and gives every other minimalist microbrand a masterclass in restraint. Remember when I started this list with the noble quest of showcasing high-quality, timeless watches with a little bit of heritage and mechanical movements? Yeah, so did I. So here's a big, bulky, slightly garish, borderline novelty-looking thing with a quartz movement, a bit of clip art on the dial in the form of a cobra, and a free toy in the box like it's a 1980s box of cereal. The Bulova Shelby Racing Chronograph. It's 43mm of stainless steel in a bullhead case, with the crown and pushers parked up top like exhaust pipes. Most of the case is finely brushed, with just enough polished accents to stop it looking like it was simply attacked with a belt sander and thrown in the box. The sapphire crystal sits slightly proud, and the numbered caseback adds a touch of limited edition drama. The dial's pure Shelby theatre, metallic blue with silver subdials, a tachymeter ring, and that Shelby Cobra logo at 3 o'clock. Even the blue and white rubber strap is racing striped, in case you somehow missed the theme. Inside, it's quartz powered, but this isn't any old quartz, with Bulova's precisionist movement running at 262 kHz. It's absurdly accurate and smoother than that time your mate chatted up your sister, measuring time down to 1/1000th of a second. Which is great if you ever need to lap your boiled egg. It's limited to 7,500 pieces and comes with a die-cast GT500 in the box, because of course it does. And at £995, you could do much worse than this quartz-powered garish piece of novelty. It's ridiculous, but it knows it's ridiculous. A watch that doesn't whisper about heritage or craftsmanship. It just slaps a cobra on the dial and goes full throttle, and I love it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.